Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Red Bull Junior Championship Race 8 from the Barcelona Grand Prix circuit. Quick look at the current championship standings. Demon R leading the way on 123 points, only 8 ahead of SGP. Bit of a gap back to Hulkenberg in third place, who's got Steve F1 only 2 points behind him. Twilight sitting in 5th place on 67, while Dave the Harp has 62 and SRI right behind him on 60. We then got Fluffy Planet, Schumacher, Bunzel, Jason, Formula Gary, Groover, Rich Blues, GT5 King, Tyler and Dex rounding out the top 17. Look at the qualifying order for today's race. Demon R took pole position ahead of James Hulkenberg. CPI Schumacher and SGP round out the second row. Dave the Harp is alongside Steve F1, while Jason lines up next to Twilight. Fluffy Planet once again qualifies in 9th place, and Tyler gets into the top 10 this time. Groover will start 11th with Rich Blues next to him, and then Bunzel and Formula Gary will form up the last row of the grid. The championship fight is definitely still on, with only 8 points between Demon R and SGP, with this and one more race to go. But before we head over to the track for the action, let's check out a message from the DGT League admins. So here we go then. Circuit de Catalunya from Barcelona is where we're going to be racing at today, as the drivers are forming up on the grid. And joining me in the commentary box is James. How are you today, James?
Yeah, not bad, but some of the drivers down there, they're looking very, very sweaty, especially the guy on pole position.
Yeah, that he is. Demon R on pole position, his championship rival in 4th place. That's SGP as we get ready for the lights to go out, and away they go, and SGP's not moving, and Steve F1 has hit him up the rear. It's carnage at the back as Demon R gets a fantastic start. Schumacher's jumped up to 2nd, and Dave the Harp's fighting Hulkenberg for 3rd.
Yeah, Hulkenberg's had a bad start, but Demon R just holding on to the lead as the heading towards turn 1 now. Dave the Harp up into P2 straight away. That's a fantastic start for him.
It is an absolutely phenomenal start for SGP, though. It couldn't have gone any worse. And we're hearing from the pit lane that he had a technical issue. His pause button came on, so he was not in control of his car, and that's what caught out Steve F1 as well. So it's disaster for SGP. He has waited though, and he's at the back of the grid, so Steve F1 can get going again. Hulkenberg though having a look up the inside of Schumacher into turn 4, and he makes the move.
Yeah, he's taking no prisoners there. I bet he's pretty annoyed with starting in P2 and going down to P4. But he's up to P3 now. His next target is Dave the Harp.
That it is, although Dave the Harp is all over the back of Demon R. He's really pushing through turn 9. It can be taken flat out, but you have to be careful doing it. Demon R going defensive. Dave the Harp going to go around the outside. Hulkenberg looking up the inside. Can't quite make the move into 1st position, but is he going to take 2nd off Dave the Harp?
No, Dave the Harp just holds it round the outside there, which now becomes the inside. And yeah, Dave the Harp just holds on to that position.
That he does, but Hulkenberg now up the inside, heading towards the Mickey Mouse chicane. But yeah, Dave the Harp still fending him off. That's frustrating for Dave the Harp. He wanted to go on the attack, and instead he had to defend the grid. Still very, very close towards the end of this first lap. And Hulkenberg, he's got a decent run on the back of Dave the Harp here.
Yeah, Schumacher seems to have had a bit of wheel spin out of the chicane, and Dave the Harp's had to go defensive. but Dave the Art's getting a decent slipstream off Demon R.
That he is. Now we've got 3 tyre compounds available to the drivers as Hulkenberg has a cheeky look but doesn't go for it. I'm doing a bit of a crofty there. Oh, he's going for it. No, he's not. He's too far away.
Yeah, but at least James Hulkenberg was pretty close to Dave the Art.
Oh, Dave the Art was really close to Demon R.
Yeah, I think Dave the Art's going for it. He's going for the race lead, and there he goes up the inside, and he's got it.
That he has. So Demon R's going to have to be cautious now of where Hulkenberg's going to go, or is Demon R going to attack back into turn 4? No, he tucks back into the slipstream. Hulkenberg is going to try and go all the way around the outside. He's not going to do it out there, is he? He is, you know.
Yeah, that's a fantastic move, and it takes 2 to tango, though. It could have been very easy for Demon R to just scrub out wide there.
Very, very truly could have been. I'm so bad with my words today. Anyway,
no, it's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm usually like that. I think it's the medication again.
It could be.
We need some Red Bull or Monster Energy to keep us on his toes as SGP just overtakes Formula Gary, but Formula Gary's not giving up there.
No, he's not. Formula Gary has had some decent pace in the practice around this track. Well, I was mentioning about the 3 tyre compounds as SGP is giving Rich Blues a little bit of a slap on the rear end there. Is he going to go for the move? Yes, he is.
Nice. Yeah, that were a nice move. Rich Blues looks to be braking there in a fast corner as Bunsell. He's loving them sausages so much that he's driven over both of them.
Yeah, okay, battle for the lead once again then. Hulkenberg now on the back of Dave the Harp. Demon R is still there. Schumacher in the background. Hulkenberg looking up the inside into turn 1. Is he going to go for it? Dave the Harp gives him the room. That could compromise them both through turn 2. And Demon R is closing the gap. But Hulkenberg going for the switchback. Side by side. They go, oh, he got on the curve. A little twitchy. And Demon R's trying to sneak around the outside. Now Schumacher sneak up the inside.
Yeah, Schumacher trying to get in a gap there that didn't quite exist, but he's just tagged the back of Demon R, and that's allowed Hulkenberg back through into 3rd place.
It has, and Jason has now closed in on the back of Schumacher. He's not going to have a look at diving up the inside though. Jason's a bit more of a wily old fox than that. He'll be patient, I'm sure. But yeah, I was mentioning 2 laps ago about the 3 tyre compounds. We've got super soft, softs and mediums, and this track is an absolute tyre killer, and we know that Dave the Harp is he's a tyre assassin, isn't he?
He is, but being out in the lead now, this is probably his best chance. Not scrubbing the tyres so much that they fall off the cliff, whereas Hulkenberg, he likes to get very close as SGP. Oh, he's tagged the back at Twilight in a move on Steve F1.
That's interesting. He tags the back of Twilight, helps Twilight make the overtake, and he makes the overtake on Steve F1 as well. Interesting tactic there. Twilight's run wide though. That's going to give SGP the inside line. He's made a move on Rich Blues here already, and now he's made a move on Twilight. I think he likes making overtakes into that corner.
He does, so that's a pretty textbook move that he's got lined up, but is Twilight close enough to come back?
I'm not sure. I think he's going to be coming under pressure from Steve F1 and Tyler. Yes, he is, as Steve F1 pulls out of the slipstream, but Twilight is in SGP's slipstream. They're going 3 wide though, are they? Tyler, he's going to fight Steve F1 into turn 1, is he? No, he backs out of it. That's wise. Nice driving there.
Yeah, indeed. It's very easy when you're going 3 wide to just think to yourself, you know what, I'm going through. But if you're all thinking the same thing, you're all going to be going off into the gravel. Exactly.
Steve F1 playing the patient game and makes the move through turn 4. That's a nice overtake. That is Twilight trying to fight back though into turn 5. He's got the inside line. That could compromise him a little bit, and it has. He's now under pressure from Tyler. But I just want to mention as well that SGP, after being dead last, he is now up to 7th place, I believe. So just goes to show he has got pace around here, and just how disastrous that poor start could be.
Yeah, indeed. So Demon R down to 3rd. He needs to try and regain the lead if he wants to get on with this championship fight, because the last thing he needs is to be finishing down in 3rd and SGP be turning up behind him and possibly even jumping him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've just seen in the background that SGP is closing in on this this gaggle of cars at the front here. Dave the Harp just got very out of shape through the Mickey Mouse chicane. He's ran wide as well into the final corner. I think Hulkenberg's going to have a really good run on him, but just look how close this field is. SGP and Steve F1 both into the pits. That's very, very early. 6.5 minutes into the race. That's really early.
Yeah, they're going for the undercut. They can see that Demon R's been held up now behind James Hulkenberg and Dave the Harp. and this is their opportunity.
It is. Bunsell, he's going side by side with Formula Gary and Twilight, but he backs out of it. Wise decision there. 3 wide, doesn't work into turn 1, as we mentioned a couple of laps ago. And you know what? I'm quite impressed, James, how close the whole field is.
Yeah, usually there ends up being a few packs, but the whole pack seems to be pretty much bunched up behind Dave the Harp.
Yeah, definitely. Jason really sticking to the back of Schumacher. It looks as well like Dave the Harp and Schulkenberg, this is his new name, are pulling away a little bit from Demon R here, you know.
Yeah, could it be though that they're on softer tyres than Demon R?
Oh, it could be. They're going side by side though. Hulkenberg up the inside into turn 9. Oh, he's clipped the sausage curb and he's clipped Dave the Harp. Sends Dave the Harp to the alternate circuit.
Oh, he's just gone over the gravel. And hopefully James Hulkenberg's going to be waiting for him, but that's disaster for Dave the Harp and James Hulkenberg, and that's Christmas Day for Demon R.
It is. It's Christmas Day for Schumacher as well. It looks like he's driving Santa's sled, but yeah, Hulkenberg has let Dave the Harp back through, but that has been massively costly for the both of them. They were first and second, they're now 5th and 6th. And you mentioned about SGP and Steve F1 going for the undercut. I think you're absolutely right. With that little bit of a collision there, that could put both of those guys in and around Hulkenberg. Oh, we've got a few cars going for the pit lane. Dave the Harp being one of them. Hulkenberg is not though. Dave the Harp was on the soft tyre.
Yeah, so Demon Art leads the race with Schumacher in P2. Hulkenberg stayed out, and that's put him up to 3rd. So yeah, we've got cars in the pit lane. It's getting very busy. But where will SGP funnel out in this?
Yeah, definitely. It is an important question, as Twilight has managed to find himself now right behind Hulkenberg. So Twilight sort of started well, dropped back a bit, and now he's sitting up in 4th. Obviously he hasn't made a pit stop yet, as there must be 6 or 7 cars coming out of the pit lane. So Bunsell sitting in 5th place as well. SGP is currently in 6th place, and he is going to be ahead of Dave the Harp, and so is Steve F1. So Hulkenberg needs fast laps now to stay ahead of SGP and Steve F1, but I can't see it happening with the tyre wear. And Dave the Harp's in 11th.
Yeah, so Dave the Harp down in 11th. I think there's no matter what James Hulkenberg does, I think he's going to be coming out behind SGP and this gaggle of cars right here.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously though, SGP and Steve F1 pitted very, very early, so maybe they're going to be having an additional stop in their race. Let's see Fluffy Planet all over the back of Groover. Those two are friends, although if you heard them talking to each other, you wouldn't think that they are. Something about Groover and Bacon or something. Fluffy Planet though, having a look up the inside. It's a lovely move he's done there on Groover.
Yeah, very nice, and that's just allowed now Jason, I think it is, to get all over his rear wing as Schumacher's into the pits.
Yeah, Schumacher, super soft tyre into the pits. Oh, someone's into the barrier. I think that may have been Hulkenberg. Was it Hulkenberg that hit the wall there?
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers have been saying that they're losing grip into the pit lane and underestimating that wall.
Oh dear. Hulkenberg then on the soft tyre, Schumacher on the super soft tyre, so differences of tyre selection going on here as Dave the Harp looks like he's been boxed in a little bit here. He's got the slipstream of Jason, but Groover next to him, and now he is ahead. Schumacher coming out of the pits, and Schumacher is a few cars behind Dave the Harp, so I think Dave the Harp is definitely having to work hard to get through the field here.
Yeah, so this is the point where Demon R, even though he's out in front and he's on the oldest tyres of everybody else, he's not being bunched up in the pack right now, and that could be his winning ticket to pull away. It
definitely could be, as Steve F1 is applying the pressure to SGP, and Fluffy Planet having a look in there as well. Steve F1, has he got the grip? You know what, I think he has. They've got same age tyres. I'm wondering if they're on different compounds, you know, with how quickly Steve F1 is attacking. It's a lovely move this. Oh, a little bit of contact, still a lovely move, but it's going to bunch everybody up, and there you go.
Yeah, so at the back of the pack now we can see James Hulkenberg just joining this as Fluffy Planet and Jason go side by side through turn 9, and that's not an easy feat.
No, that's a fantastic move from Jason there. Oh, Groover, I think he missed his braking point there. Jason just got sent into next week.
Yeah, Groover, I think he thought that the turn at turn 10 was another 400 metres down the road.
Oh, Hulkenberg looking at attacking around the outside of Schumacher, but clips the gravel. That's going to be a little bit costly. I don't know if there was contact between the two of them there. Quick look at Demon R though. He's still not pitted, James.
Yeah, hearing from James Hulkenberg's team radio, there were definitely contact there, and Schumacher just punted him off, he's saying. Mm-hmm. So expect fireworks from Hulkenberg.
Okay, it's nowhere near fireworks night, but we love a good party. Okay, Formula Gary, go on. That was the worst one-liner ever.
Well, it can't get much worse as Hulkenberg. He's shoving his way through into PA past. Fluffy planet. It's planet and past.
Plast.
Into plast. There you go.
It's looking a little bit feisty here, Fluffy Planet, trying to squeeze through the middle of Formula Gary and Hulkenberg. He manages to do it, but there's a little bit too much contact there. I think Formula Gary realised that and he's let Hulkenberg through, but that's put Rich Blues all over the back of him. Rich Blues trying to make the move, is he? Going for a bit of a switchback? Maybe. Steve F1 sitting in second place. So even though these guys pitted first, they're now sitting in second and third with Dave the Harp right behind them. Interesting. I don't know what tyres they're on. It'd be interesting to find out when they do pit, but we're 13 minutes into this race, James, and Demonal hasn't pitted yet. That's unusual, and I would have to think that suggests that he is not on the super soft tyre.
Yeah, so if Demonal carries on, Dave the Art needs to get past these two as quick as possible, because he cannot afford to be held up behind these two if Demon Eye is doing one less stop than these guys.
Yeah, Demon Eye has continued on, he has not pitted, but Dave the Harp is close enough to SGP to attack him down the main straight, or he may be a little bit too close. It depends. If SGP just sits in Steve F1's slipstream, Dave the Harp may not be able to do anything at all until the breaking point of turn one. Tyler, though, he's now ahead of Schumacher, so Tyler's having a decent run here, and Dave the Harp having a look, but no, he's not.
Yeah, SGP there goes for the inside to cover it off. In the background, it looks like Schumacher and Tyler. And
in the foreground, SGP's just messed up and gone wide. That's cost him. I think Dave the Harp got him out of position, or his tyres are going. He's been on them for nearly 7 minutes, so maybe his tyres are going off a little bit. But yeah, you were saying, James, that Tyler in the background had lost a little bit of time.
Yeah, and it looks like Fluffy Planet there defending for all his worth against Jens Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's just been almost on the grass there, and it looks like he's getting stuck right now.
Yeah, Jason, though, at the head of this pack, I think he needs to try and break away from them if he can. He needs to break away and start catching up to 6th place Tyler. Steve F1 ahead of Dave the Harp. Dave the Harp has closed in on Steve F1 quite nicely. SGP's lost a lot of time, as we saw. So as we head into the turn 10 hairpin, what can Dave the Harp do? Bit better than Schumacher through that corner, that's for sure. Schumacher looks like he's struggling a little bit for Brit, James.
Yeah, but unfortunately Dave the Harp is just getting held up, and that's allowed Demon Art to pull away
into the pit,
so that when he's in the pit lane, but he's pulled away enough that he's not going to lose out too much time here.
No, definitely not. And he's on the medium compound tyre, so the hardest compound, as Dave the Harp is attacking Steve F1 for what will be the net lead of the race. Side by side they go. This could help Schumacher if he can get into the slipstream of Steve F1, but Dave the Harp is going to take the lead of the race. And there's Demon Art coming out of the pit lane, and you know what? He's going to come out in 5th place. 6th place.
Yeah, that's a decent bit of a nice gap there that he's come out in. Luckily not fighting anybody in towards turn 1. Next car up the road for him will be Tyler,
and the car behind is Jason, and it was Jason that I said needs to break away from that pack to catch up to Tyler, and if he'd have been able to do so, it could have been problematic for Demon Art.
Yeah, indeed. So Tyler, look like, has he got a problem?
I think Demon R's got a remote control handbrake for Tyler there.
Well, it just looked like Silver Service there from Silver Arrow.
Aye, Mercedes driver with a Senna helmet in a Red Bull.
Yeah, well, here we go then. Steve F1 hasn't dropped off Dave the Harp. I was expecting Dave the Harp to pull away here.
Yeah, I would as well, unless Dave the Harp's tyres are now starting to go off a little bit. Obviously, being behind a driver can hurt the tyres, but you get the benefit of the slipstream and a little bit of boost. But you know what? Schumacher is closing up on these guys. This could get very interesting, but strategies are obviously very, very different around this track, James. But I'm not surprised by that because of the nature of this circuit.
Yeah, so Dave the Arp, is he going to have to go defensive in towards turn 1? Schumacher's a little bit of lag there, but we know that Schumacher likes to set his car up for the straight lines.
Yeah, just seeing that Jason has headed into the pits, and interestingly we've got Demon R and SGP, the 2 championship leaders, 8 points between them before this race, with this and one more race to go. And Demon R has literally, he's only done 1 lap on his brand new tyres, and SGP pitted 11 minutes ago.
Yeah, so we're expecting SGP to be pitting any time now. Ooh, covered off the front end of Demon R. That was very close to contact there.
It definitely was. I would not expect anything less than SGP to fight this position, because any time that he can cost Demon R is potential points loss for Demon R, in a situation where for SGP it's damage limitation if he wants to take the championship to the next round. He's a little bit out of shape though through the left rights of 11 and 12. No, they're not 11 and 12, they're 7 and 8.
Yeah, we're going through turn 9 now. SGP, as he run wide, has this given Demon R enough momentum to go side by side? It has. Demon R needs to go for a nice switch back, and it looks like it's happened. That's a fantastic move there from Demon R.
It is helped by the benefit of the fresher tyres, but it's still not easy to do. Back up at the front though, Schumacher still all over the back of Steve F1, and Dave the Harp is marginally opening up that gap a little bit now, James, because Dave the Harp's into the pits. I would have expected Steve F1 to pit first, but no, Dave the Harp, he's on the front foot.
Yeah, so he's going in there, and he were on the soft tyre, so yeah, they didn't seem to last that long. I was expecting the soft tyre to last at least 10 minutes.
Schumacher attacking Steve F1 to take the lead of the race into turn 1, and he makes the move quite comfortably. I think Steve was playing it safe on his tyres so that he can attack back on the exit of turn 3, and that's exactly what he's going to try and do if he can tuck it back into the slipstream.
Well, if them tyres are giving up though, it's going to be very, very tough indeed. But Schumacher, I think he only pitted about 2 laps after Steve F1, so there's not going to be a huge amount of tyre life difference. And here comes Demon R.
Yeah, Demon R catching up to these two quite quickly, as Steve F1 is much faster than Schumacher through the apex of the corner there. Maybe Schumacher's tyres are on the way out big time. But the interesting thing about Demon R appearing in the background here, James, is that Dave the Harp has just pitted from this position, but Demon R only pitted a couple of laps ago. So I've no idea what's going to happen here.
Yeah, indeed. So it looks like James Hulkenberg has... he's up the inside. Turn 9. That didn't work last time against Dave the Harp, and it hasn't worked this time either. But yeah, here comes Flipping Planet. Is James Hulkenberg going for it up the inside? Here we go.
It's a sneaky little move there. It is a very sneaky little move, but good driving from the 3 of them, as Demon R is now all over the back of Steve F1, and Schumacher leading the race. A horrible little chicane at the end of this track, as we know Steve F1 and Schumacher into the pits. What tyres were they on? Schumacher super soft, Steve F1 super. Steve did a very long stint on super soft tyres, 15 minutes. Yeah.
He must really be very, very kind on his tyres. But yeah, looks like Bunsell there. Sorry, not Bunsell. It looks like Rich Blues coming under pressure from Tyler.
Yeah, and Dave the Harp trying to attack Jason, but can't do anything about it. Tyler moves to the inside. Dave the Harp trying to follow him through, and Dave the Harp makes the move on Jason, but Rich Blues, perhaps not realising that Dave was there, went for the corner, and that's a 3-car collision. That's desperately unlucky. I can understand why that happened there. Rich Blues was being overtaken by Tyler, and perhaps didn't realise that Dave the Harp was trying to sneak through as well. It's costly in time. No, Steve F1 nearly smashes the back of Jason.
Yeah, maybe Rich Blues maybe either needs to turn his radar on or look over his shoulder.
Yep, I've got to admit that I've done that personally before. You go, okay, I'm not going to fight this guy, he's got the inside line, I've just took it underneath him. Oh, bloody hell, there's someone else there.
Yeah.
It's very easily done. Demon R, though, leading the race as we have just passed halfway point. SGP somehow running in second place, and that's where he needs to be. He either needs to win this race or finish second place to really make it difficult in the last race of the championship.
Yeah, indeed. Dave the Harp, he's pitted compared to SGP and Hulkenberg, so he needs to blitz his way through the field, and there he goes past Schumacher like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, Dave the Harp is absolutely on a charge here today. He had a difficult race last time out at the Dragon Trail, but he wants to make amends for that today. Hulkenberg, he's all over the back of SGP now as they make their way down towards turn 1.
Yeah, so under braking, I think it may be a touch too far into the braking zone of turn 1, but we do know that Hulkenberg likes to make his quite aggressive overtaking moves.
He's going to go for a switchback here though, surely. Yeah, tucks into the slipstream to get the inside line. That's a lovely little switchback. SGP not defending, not much he could do about it there. Can't close the door as Hulkenberg hugs the apex. It's a lovely overtake that.
Yeah, so Hulkenberg up to P2 now. Just trying to work out how many seconds Demonar is in front of Hulkenberg. It looks about 6 or 7.
Yeah, the gap is around about that. Fluffy Planet and Twilight, though, they're having a right good ding-dong battle, legitimately for 4th place at the moment.
Yeah, so these two coming good. Usually seeing them in the lower midfield, and yeah, strategy at the moment is in their favour as Dave the Harp is still in 7th place.
Yeah, and he's got Schumacher, Jason and Steve F1 right behind him. 3 rather quick drivers. Steve F1 trying to pressure Jason, moving to the inside. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can, but Jason's going to fight it. Formula Gary's closed the gap, and Jason's got a great run out of that corner. And Formula Gary, oh, I thought he was going to sneak the position there.
Yeah, so Steve F1 though not giving up the inside. Will this become the move before the chicane? Jason, has he given up? No, Steve F1 breaks very late and gets the position. Very nice.
And Formula Gary slipped through as well. Hulkenberg into the pits, soft tyres. Twilight into the pits as well. Yeah, I saw in the background there. Formula Gary tried following Steve F1 through basically, and it pretty much worked. Dave the Harp though all over the back of Tyler. Is he going to make the move into turn 1? No, thinks better of it, but it's starting to get a little bit closed up here, James.
Yeah, indeed. So we know that the undercut round this circuit is probably about 5 seconds as Dave Hart runs at a touch wide there. James Hulkenberg was about 7 seconds behind Demonar. Do you think he might be able to go for the undercut?
He might do, but if he has to deal with this pack, I don't think it'll work. Dave the Harp is trying his hardest to get past Tyler, and he's struggling. Although Tyler's had a poor exit of turn 5, but can't quite make the move. But yeah, I mean, we see how Dave the Harp and Schumacher and Jason and Steve F1 can't get past Tyler at the moment. Hulkenberg is effectively going to sort of catch up to this at some point as Dave the Harp does make the move in 9. So does Schumacher.
Yeah, that were a nice cheeky move there from Schumacher. Very late, and we were lucky there that Tyler saw him coming.
Yeah, definitely Jason going late on the brakes. You don't often see that from him, but this is absolutely mental. Side by side through the hairpin and then into the little kinks and the wiggles.
Yeah, kinks and wiggles. It's the final sector of Barcelona. It shouldn't be called Sector 3. It should just be called Kinks and Wiggles.
Yeah. Oh, Schumacher clipped the back off Tyler, I think it was. All out of shape there. That's going to give Steve F1 a decent run on him and Formula Gary. But I think Steve F1 has boxed Formula Gary in just.
Yeah, so here we go then. In the background there, I think we can see Twilight.
Hulkenberg.
So he must have pitted behind Hulkenberg, yeah. So there is Formula Gary, just in front of Steve F1, and Bunsell being held out to dry there.
Yeah, here is Hulkenberg catching up to this pack. As I mentioned, he would. So he's now got to try and get through this, and he's wasted no time on Formula Gary. Straight through in turn 3. What's he going to do to Bunsell in turn 4? Up the inside he goes, but he gets a little bit of a nudge from behind from Formula Gary.
Yeah, Bunsell there with the M&Ms. They're going to wilt under the heat of Barcelona. Yeah, every time I say it, we've got to do that. That's contractual.
It is.
But yeah, Schumacher now stuck behind Tyler. Tyler's really quite got some decent pace this weekend as Schumacher up the inside of turn 9, and Tyler just held it out of the keel there.
Steve F1 though sneaking round the outside as they got side by side. Can Steve F1 make this work? I think he can, on Tyler. But here comes Hulkenberg through the middle, out of nowhere, to rob Steve F1 of a beautiful overtake. Demonar into the pits as well, another set of the medium tyre.
Yeah, so Tyler there, out to dry. Hulkenberg's through into 5th. He needs to make the move straight away on Schumacher to lose no time, because he's in a fight with Demon Art and SGP.
Yeah, Tyler heading into the pits. You know what, Tyler, to be running how he was, at that kind of pace and defending like he was, and then to pit now, his tyres must have been absolutely knackered, so brilliant driving from him. But yeah, you're right, Hulkenberg is in a fight with Demon Art for the lead of the race. And
there's Demon Art.
Yeah, exactly, coming out right behind Steve F1. But the interesting thing about Hulkenberg there was we saw Dave Schumacher, Steve F1 stuck behind Tyler for a number of laps. Hulkenberg pits, catches up to him, bosh, and without really smashing him off, but makes the moves. He's boshed him off though.
Yeah, Schumacher, I think that may be a little bit of payback for earlier in the race when Schumacher punted him off into the gravel.
Yeah, I think you could be absolutely right. Okay, Hulkenberg has got himself up to 2nd place at the moment. Dave the Harp is leading the race, but I've got a feeling he has got one more pit stop to do. Demon R, though, who is in 5th, I think is going to the end. So this could get very, very close in the last stint of the race. Schumacher, though, coming under massive pressure, running wide. Got to be careful doing that, ain't you, James?
Yeah, that was very, very close. Schumacher almost ended up in Italy there. But yeah, Demon Art up the inside of Twilight, and yeah, Twilight's having it's fairly quiet but solid race at the moment.
Oh, as he just runs a little bit wide. Oh, he got away with it though, got away with it. So Dave the Harp coming into the last kinks and wiggles. I don't think he's going to be pitting yet. He is. 12 minutes. He's not done a 12-minute stint yet in this race. He can't have another stop to do, surely.
Well, if he does, that's pretty much game over. Hulkenberg, I think he's aiming to go another 4 minutes and then pit, so he's got one more pit stop in him, whereas Demon R, that's his final pit stop done, so Hulkenberg needs to try and pull away now.
That he does, but on worn tyres it's not going to be easy to do. Let's see, where's SGP? SGP's sitting in 8th place at the moment, behind Fluffy Planet and Groover. Sorry.
So, hey, somebody's messaging the commentary box. We need to tell them to go away because we're busy at work. And yeah, Schumacher almost lost the rear end there.
Steve F1 did lose the rear end a little bit. Demon R is attacking him into turns 7 and 8, but backs out of it. And I mean, to be fair, Demon R's in a position where he doesn't need to attack because every car ahead of him is probably going to pit again. So he can just be patient and wait and just hope he doesn't lose too much time.
Yeah, he can wait. He's got all the time in the world.
Steve F1 ain't waiting.
That were out of nowhere. That move there from Steve F1, and this is going to allow Demon R up the inside. Yeah, that little over opportunistic move there from Steve F1 just cost him a place.
It has, and Twilight may be able to capitalise here as well. As side by side they go. Demon R makes the move, covers off the inside into the kink and wiggle, and yeah, costly for Steve F1 there, but at least he did wait. I mean, he hit Schumacher and he waited as Schumacher and Steve F1 into the pits they go, so that frees up Demon R and Twilight. Interesting. So SGP all over the back of Fluffy Planet with Jason right behind him now.
Yeah, so there's only 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go now as SGP, I think he's made his final pit stop and he's got Fluffy in front of him, so he's going for the move down towards turn 1.
That's a nice overtake into turn 1. I think Fluffy Planet's tyres might be of a different tyre life than SGP's, although he's fighting back. He's coming back at him quickly.
Yeah, so Fluffy Gary's got some decent cornering speed there, and here comes Jason as well.
SGP proper closed the door there, but Jason sneaks through, opportunistic as ever. Wow, absolutely brilliant from Jason.
So yeah, that had nothing to do with Jason. It was Fluffy that gave SGP a little bit of a punt as if to say thanks for shutting door on me, and Jason were like, well, you two can start squabbling, I'll pick up the scraps.
Yeah, definitely indeed. Okay, Dave the Harp, he's in the background there, sitting in 7th place at the moment. But Twilight, where's he going? Oh, he's just checking the grip level of the painted area. I was going to say Twilight's sitting in a brilliant position, but he's losing it. I think his tyres are done. I think they're absolutely cooked. I think you could be absolutely right. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him heading into the pits. Hulkenberg does head into the pits. That'll be for his final pit stop. Demon R, we know he's going to carry on going. So Hulkenberg's on the soft compound tyre. Where will he come back out? Twilight, what is he going to do? He heads into the pits as well. SGP continues on. Fluffy Gary Planet, he is into the pits.
Yeah, so currently it is Demon R leads the race from Jason in P2, SGP in P3, Dave the Art P4, Tyler P5, Rich Blues in P6, and now we can see Hulkenberg coming out of the pit lane. I think he's going to rejoin behind Steve F1 and Schumacher.
Yeah, so after Hulkenberg previously coming out of the pits, having to close the gap and then pass, this time he's right behind them. So he hasn't got to close the gap, but he's still potentially going to have to make moves, because I don't think Steve F1 and Schumacher will be pitting again. And Hulkenberg is having a look, but I don't think he's going to be making a move just yet. Rich Blues, though, he's sitting in 6th at the moment. That's great stuff from Rich.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, Steve F1 there covering off the inside very late. That's forced Hulkenberg around the outside. I think Hulkenberg's just done it again.
And I think I've just commentator's cursed Rich, because he's just gone off and he's now 10th.
Oh, lucky Rich. But yeah, so Steve F1 went defensive. Hulkenberg just thought, right, okay, well, I'll go right outside then. He's done it. So here we go. He's got Schumacher in front of him, who's been struggling through turn 9. And yeah, he's carrying a lot of speed in Hulkenberg.
That he is. He's late on the brakes. Tyler had a bit of a slight off between turns 8 and 9, and that's what's compromised him into this position. Schumacher trying to defend from Hulkenberg, but Hulkenberg's got grippier tyres on at the moment. He's also a little bit more mental.
But yeah, Tyler once again leading the pack here, and yeah, Hulkenberg needs to try and force his way through, I think.
And that is exactly what he's doing, although he may have been better off waiting, because he's now going to have Tyler and Schumacher coming at him in his slipstream. Ooh, this could get interesting.
Yeah, so Demon Art still leads the race. SGP in P2. Schumacher, though, where is he going?
I think he's trying to go up the inside. I don't think he can get up the inside of Hulkenberg, although Tyler's trying to up the inside of turn 2. This could compromise the both of them, and Schumacher's got an opportunity, but Steve F1, he's got a brilliant run. He may even be able to attack Schumacher. He's going for the inside line. This could get treacherous.
Yeah, that's a nice move there from Steve F1. Hulkenberg goes through. Steve F1 follows Hulkenberg, and that's Hulkenberg to P4. Steve F1 in P5. No, Schumacher getting quite ballsy there and shoving Steve F1 almost off the track.
Yeah, and what that has done, that's allowed formerly Gary to get past Steve F1, and Tyler's now attacking Steve F1. Rich Blues is there as well, so Steve F1 is really having to fight for his positions at the moment. But what an absolute monster of a race we've been having here today, as Twilight is all over the back of Rich Blues, but Dave the Harp has managed to close the gap to SGP, and SGP nearly lost it.
Yeah, the rear end is really complaining on SGP's car, and Dave the Art is turning up like with all the grip you could ever want, and this looks like Dave the Art's easily going to take this position.
I think you could be right there, James. I mean, for SGP it's an interesting situation. He's currently in 2nd, and he doesn't want to give it up. If he pits, he'll be last, and he'd have the whole pack to come through in 4.5 minutes. So maybe damage limitation, don't pit and see if he can hold on.
Yeah, so there we go. Dave the Art is overtaking SGP in towards turn 1, and that's a nice move there for Dave the Art.
That it is. Dave, as I was saying, wanted to make amends for the last race where things did not go to plan for him. SGP, that's very, very wide. I think his tyres are almost done. He's not going to attack back, is he?
He's trying with all his might, but unfortunately I don't think there's going to be enough grip left. And the one thing I worry about SGP is Hulkenberg turning up behind him very, very quickly. Yeah,
definitely. And Dave the Harp's going to have to worry about Hulkenberg as well, because Hulkenberg pitted after Dave the Harp, so his tyres are going to be fresher. And he's been on the... he's not waiting to make moves, let's put it that way, as Hulkenberg, as he is... excuse me, rapidly, that's come out of nowhere, sorry, rapidly, he's attacking SGP to turn 9, it's not worth though, oh, that could have put a little bit of a heat cycle through his tyres. He'll be making a different noise than a burp there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure SGP will not have appreciated that, nor would he expected a move up the inside in towards turn 1. I think that caught him by surprise there, and we know that Hulkenberg doesn't like to wait around. He's quite impatient sometimes.
I never would have said that. Oh, he's so much quicker through that corner. Oh, he's having a look up the inside into the kinks and wigglies. It's not quite worked. Oh, there's more contact between the two of them again. And it looks like Hulkenberg is waiting to let SGP back through, and that's allowed Schumacher to close the gap on the both of them. This could be massively costly, but at the same time respectful.
Yeah, but that's just allowed Schumacher through, so that's worst case scenario for SGP. He could have been fighting. Oh, Hulkenberg! Oh, I think he missed his braking point there. I think he might have just lost his head there.
You know what? I think we can hear the team radio. Hold on, brick.
But yeah, like I was saying though, that this is worst case scenario for SGP. He's up for the title, and it looks like Schumacher and Steve F1 have just made the way through.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, now it would be easy to say maybe SGP should have pitted, but without those little bit of contacts, and there's more going on, where he may have been further up the road. I mean, you look at where Dave the Harp is now compared to these four. He's miles up the road, and Hulkenberg and SGP still bumping doors.
Yeah, so SGP holding on to 5th place for all he's got, and if anything, Hulkenberg's been very, very dirty here.
Yeah, I think someone might need to have a little bit of a word with him, as Steve F1 is trying to close in on the back of Schumacher into the braking zone. They go. Hulkenberg has missed a few braking points in the last couple of corners, but SGP has ran wide. That's going to give Hulkenberg the opportunity to have a run here. Oh, Steve F1 in the foreground, no, the background, ran in a bit wide as well, ran in, new word. Hulkenberg makes the move, lovely overtake eventually, and that's how to do it.
Yeah, so Schumacher now P3, but he's gone a bit deep in the chicane. Could this give Steve F1 the run as we're heading on now to the final lap of the race? And as I was saying, SGP now down in 6th place. That could be very costly for the championship if Demon R wins.
It definitely could be. Schumacher is trying to close the door on Steve F1, but goes back to the racing line. Steve F1 has a look up the inside, but Schumacher is still trying to close the door. It's going to continue this battle, and this may actually give Hulkenberg an opportunity to close in on these two and have another fight to get back onto the podium. Or Steve F1 tags the back of Schumacher. I think Steve F1's getting a little bit frustrated here, doesn't know which way to go.
Yeah, Schumacher covering off every single move that Steve F1 places, and here comes Hulkenberg.
Oh, he's not going to go for the inside, is he? Yes, he is. I'd say that's a little too aggressive.
Yeah, so Steve F1 now down to 5th place, and I don't think he'll appreciate that.
I think you might be right there, and we are on to the last lap of the race, as you mentioned, James, and I've got to say Demon R has got a monstrous lead over Dave the Harp, who has managed to disappear. Look at the gap Dave the Harp has got to this pack. It's absolutely phenomenal for Dave to do that. But Hulkenberg, he's trying to attack Schumacher, but he's not quite close enough. Steve F1 comes in like a rocket, but Schumacher's gone deep. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, so here we go up the hill.
Oh, he's sideways, he's still sideways. It's Steve F1's trying not to touch him. Demon R's going to cross the finish line. He is going to take victory in Barcelona. Hulkenberg, he's lost it. He's completely rounded to the kinks and wigglies, and that's just a banging.
Oh, so Jason could possibly snatch P5 off SGP. Dave the Art gets P2. Here comes Schumacher for P3. Steve F1 gets 4th, and SGP comes away with 5th.
Formerly Gary 7th, I think it was Twilight 8th, Bunsell 9th, absolutely frantic in there. Fluffy Planet was having a great race earlier on, not sure what happened to him, he's ended up down in 11th. Tyler, he was having a brilliant race, but it is 12th place for Tyler. Rich Blues crosses the line in 13th, and it looks like Hulkenberg is in limp mode to cross the finish line.
I think he knows the team are going to be ready to kick his head in as soon as he gets out of the car.
Yeah, and in typical Hulkenberg fashion, crosses the line with the handbrake on. Well, what a race. I mean, it started in dramatic fashion regarding the championship, James, with SGP having that technical issue and just instantly put him at the back of the grid.
Yeah, but I've got to say the championship, unfortunately for us, is kind of maybe just a touch too far away now from SGP. And I think Demonar's already got one hand on that title.
I think you could be right. If the positions are confirmed, I think it's going to be a 17-point gap between the two of them with one race to go.
Yeah. What's the point for a win?
20.
Is it 20 points? And what is it for P2?
18. I think, or 17.
So pretty much SGP requires Demonar to completely disconnect.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if Demonar finishes, I think it is 13th or higher, then the title's
He's got the title.
Yeah.
So, barring any awful situation where SGP turns up at Demonar's house and cuts the Ethernet cable, it looks like it could possibly be the triple crown for Demonar.
It looks like that could be the case, but there is still one race to go, and it is at Suzuka, and it is a track that SGP likes, so you never know what can happen, especially around that track. Dave the Harp, though, he had a very solid race today, kept himself out of trouble, and got the rewards for it.
Yeah, indeed. I think if he hadn't had that little slight coming together with James Hulkenberg, he could have possibly won that one.
Quite possibly, indeed. As for the rest of the pack, absolutely bonkers mental, but I am hearing that there was no reports made after the race, so for any collisions that went on, it's either been dealt with off the track, driver to driver, or drivers did the right thing. I mean, I did see a lot of drivers backing off there and letting people through when they'd had an accident, and that's what the league owners want people to do, and it's what they like to see. It saves a lot of hassle all around, and also it's one of those things, James, if you punch somebody, like let's say for example I punted you off, you could be angry. But if you could then see, oh well, hang on, he's waited for me, you might still be angry, but you're more likely to then go, cheers mate. And not in a sarcastic way, like, cheers, mate, you've done me there. But it'd be like, okay, you
fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, dear.
So, all I can say as well is, just from knowing James Hulkenberg, he kind of lost his head there last few laps, didn't he?
You know what, it definitely looked like he did, because he was having a brilliant race, and he was overtaking very nicely, and then in that last stint it's almost like they changed drivers in the pit lane, and the Hulk took over.
Yeah, I think the Hulk did take over. We saw it come out last season at Bathurst, and I think we've just seen it again at Spain, so maybe Spain and Australia, two very hot tracks. Maybe it's the heat gets to him, and the Hulk comes out.
We'll have to see if we can get him some ice packs to sit on while he's racing. But yeah, an absolutely fantastic race once again, though. And as I mentioned, there is still one race to go, Suzuka, and SGP will be wanting every driver to attend if he wants Demonar to finish lower than 13th, because he's going to need there to be more than 13 drivers on the grid. If there isn't, then Demonar's pretty much, he could just park at the start-finish line at the lights. When the lights go out and go, right, I'll sit here for 40 minutes. I'll finish 20-odd laps down. I don't mind, I'll get a point. Or 3. I don't think he'd do that.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. The only way I think it can possibly happen is if Demonar just has rapid tyre wear and has to pit on like the second to last lap. But even so, the slipstream effect around these circuits is so immense. I can't imagine Demonar, a driver of his quality, not finishing in the top 13. I don't want to jinx it.
Well, I wouldn't want to jinx it either. I think probably the only thing that might stop him is if he was about to defecate himself so badly that he had to stop driving. But I have heard him say before that if that was the situation, like if you had a choice of win or crap yourself, he'd crap himself.
Yeah. I have heard as well that Demon R may possibly, risk it, but put his legendary gold livery on for the last race. Do you think he will do, or do you think he won't tempt fate?
Well, it's an interesting. If he wants to show it off, there's only one way to do it, and that's to use it. But as you say, it could be tempting fate. But then saying that, he did it with the Group 4 Championship, didn't he? He actually had a car that had Group 4 Champion written on the side of it before it was confirmed. Yeah. Yeah,
that's just pure arrogance. At the same time, it's cool. I seem to remember watching a documentary when Arnold Schwarzenegger were bodybuilding, and in order to out-psych his opposition, he tells everybody that he phoned his mother to tell her that he'd already won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In order to, wind up the opposition, got them wound up, and then he just smugly ran away with it. But
Well, someone that isn't smugly running away was the guy that drop kicked him in the back yesterday.
Oh yeah, I think whoever that moron was needs sending to Guantanamo Bay and waterboarding.
Yeah, he needs to meet Big Bob. If you've not seen Harold and Kumar, then you won't know about Big Bob.
I liked as well, if anybody's not seen it, just go on YouTube and type in Arnold Schwarzenegger and put in drop kick or something like that. The young lad who goes up to drop kick him runs over, jumps up and double kicks Arnold in the back for no reason whatsoever, right? Arnold's probably nearly 70. He's in his late 60s. And he just flinches, don't fall over, just flinches and turns round. The guy that went for the drop kick is on the floor, and then some meathead goes and grabs him and drags him away. I'm like, yeah.
The thing is, I heard that Arnold said afterwards he didn't realise he'd been kicked until he actually saw the video. But anyway, I'm going to quickly just get on to some DGT information that was put out earlier, last week, I think it was, about the next championship that's going to be taking place, the Grevo Cup, using the Group 3 Evos. And one of the things that the league has confirmed is a change in the qualifying procedure. I'm not sure if you've seen it, James, or fully understand it, or
I don't know. It'd be nice to hear it from the steward's mouth.
Well, I'm not the steward,
but you will do, though.
Oh,
you will
cheers. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Okay, I'm not the steward, before anybody bloody accuses me of that. What I believe is going to happen is, right, with the Group 3 Evo, it's going to be standard setups, right, so that you're not going to be able to do setups on the cars, which they decided to do that for a championship just so that drivers can do nothing but focus on driving the car, right? But also, because people won't have to spend multiple hours perhaps practicing, playing about with setups, it also frees them up to drive other cars and have other fun races, and perhaps earn a little bit of money just playing the game.
Yeah.
So there's a few reasons to go with the default setups, but one is just to give people the time in the cars, because there's no messing about. You jump in the car and you drive it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And it's a very drivable car. But the qualifying order, at the moment, you use a 15-minute qualifying session to decide the grid order. Well, for the next championship, what they're going to do at race 1 is there's going to be a 15-minute qualifying session, like normal, that will set the grid for race 1. But from race 2 to race 9, the grid will be set on reverse championship standings order.
Right, okay.
So basically, at race 2, if you're leading the championship, you're going to be starting last, and second will be second to last, and whoever's last in the championship is going to be starting on pole. Now, some people may not be overly keen about that, but it's had quite a positive response from what I've seen and heard, and it's there's a few reasons why the league owners have decided to do that, and one of them is just to mix things up a little bit. Demon R has led the championship since race 2 of the first championship, so it mixes things up a little bit. But also it gives the league owners 9 races of testing how the selecting the grid order system works on the game, so they can find out if there's any problems with it and whether it's something that they may want to use again in the future, because just because they're changing to it for the next championship doesn't mean that's how it's going to be forever. They want to try it to see if it works, and by the end of the championship they'll know for the future if someone ever comes along and goes, oh well, you should do like reverse grid orders, or like whoever finishes 7th is pole, they'll be able to go, well, we've done something similar to that before and it didn't work, or we did something similar to that before, it did work, so maybe. So
well, on paper it sounds solid. I mean, it sounds like a good thing if it's possible to pull off. It should be quite entertaining.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's another factor to it, because, well, after the first race you could potentially have the faster drivers starting the second race at the back of the grid, but having driven the cars, it's not going to be as easy, I don't think, to go from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. So you could end up with very different winners from week to week, and it really could. I mean, no one knows exactly how it's going to pan out. I mean, I don't think we'll be seeing Demon R going from the back of the grid to the front of the grid every race. I don't think we'll see that, because the tyres last so well that drivers will be able to just keep going lap after lap after lap after lap. So it could really make things interesting to see how the races pan out. And I mean, with the tyre wear, I think they're looking at potentially 2 stops, maybe 1 stop races, right? Which means that's a lot of laps in a train.
Yeah, exactly. One of the drivers, not naming names, just wants to know if when you use the handbrake, if that ruins your tyres.
Yes, it does.
Oh, I think he'll be annoyed by that.
Hulkenberg, it ruins your tyres. So I did want to. I wanted to mention about the qualifying order, because it is quite a drastic change. But one of the things they're going to be doing, because obviously the qualifying order, system is changing. The timings are going to stay the same. So at the moment, qualifying starts at 8 p.m. on a Thursday. The way they want it to work is at 8 p.m. on a Thursday in the next championship, they'll start a 15-minute practice session from race 2 onwards. So all of the drivers need to be there for 8 o'clock, and that's to give the host the time to set the grid order. So basically, you would have been there for qualifying, so be there, they'll set the grid order and then we can race. But if you turn up after 10 past 8, you're going to start at the back of the grid, because it will be too much messing about to reform the grid order. So, but that's things that they'll learn about and work on and stuff like that. Okay, there was something else. Oh yes, I mentioned on the last race video that there was a little bit of a surprise in the last race video.
Yeah, well, you said that it involved a shark, because you said that somebody mentioned the pack's like a pack of sharks.
Yeah.
But I noticed that the SGP's car on the previous picture looks like it's out of scale with the harbour, because you can see some steps to the left
and a railing.
And if SGP's driver was actually the same scale as that railing, that'd mean that in order to get up them steps you'd have to like jump over a wall, but rather than jumping over a wall, that's just one step. So it makes the car and SGP looking like something from The Borrowers, something like that.
Yeah, it could be. Admittedly, I didn't touch that, but everyone can feel free to have a good look over last week's race winners picture and see if you can spot the surprise. Admittedly, SGP did send me a message about Demon R's race winning picture for this week, saying what's he doing, has he gone for a P? I think Demon R replied with yeah, he was Boston. So anyway, right, I think it's time to have a look at the confirmed race result and how the championship is stacking up heading into the final race of the Red Bull Junior Championship. The confirmed result then for race 8, Demon R does take the victory, David Harp second place, Schumacher once again gets onto the podium, Steve F1 taking 4th place, DGT League SGP only finishing in 5th place, that'll hurt his championship fight, Jason in 6th place, Formula Gary with another solid result in 7th, Twilight right behind him in 8th and Bunsell in 9th. Groover finished in 10th and Fluffy Planet 11th, with Tyler in 12th, Rich Blues in 13th and Hulkenberg crossing the line in 14th. Interestingly, Hulkenberg and Dave the Harp changing finishing positions from the last race to this one. As I've already mentioned, there is one more race to go from Suzuka, so let's take a look at the championship standings to see who needs what to get where in the last race of the season. Leading the way is Demon R on 143 points, and he is now 17 points ahead of DGT League SGP, meaning that SGP needs to win and Demon R will need to finish around about 13th. Steve F1 is kind of comfortable in 3rd place at the moment. Hulkenberg would need to outscore him by 9 points to take that 3rd place off him, but Hulkenberg is going to have to be careful of Dave the Harp, who has jumped up to 5th place ahead of Twilight, only 4 points between them. SRI and Schumacher only 2 points between them for 7th place, and Fluffy Planet right behind them in 9th, with Jason just ahead of Bunsell and then a little bit of a gap to Formula Gary on 40 points. Groover's now on 33 points, Rich Blues on 24, GT5 King on 18 and Tyler on 12. Dex we haven't seen for a couple of races, but he's still there on at 2 points. We'll see if he can make it to the last race. So one more race to go. It's Suzuka, 40 minutes. The title fight is on, so make sure you come and check out the DGT League for race 9 of 9 in the Red Bull Junior Championship. We'll see you all again soon.